Today's creative world is film.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
Hi, I'm Haruka.
And we're students from
TC and Fun Beyond for Education. Today we are in front of Legacy Effect building in Los Angeles.
Wow, so amazing. Let's go inside.
So excited. Wow, this is so cool.
Look at all these art. Yes. Oh my gosh. Should we invite our guest in for today?
Of course.
Okay. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you both.
So, this is Mr. Darnell Isom. He's the head special effects artist and costume designer at Legacy Effects, where we are filming today. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for coming.
So, Legacy Effects is an integral part of bringing some of Hollywood's most legendary creatures, characters, and practical special effects to life. Your studio has made prehistoric monsters and lovelorn sea creatures, iconic robots, homicidal cyborgs, superheroes, supervillains, and so much more.
With over 100 years of combined experience, the Oscar-nominated and Emmy-winning co-founders of Legacy Effects have developed a vast range of special effects and film production knowledge, utilizing it to stay on the cutting edge of practical effects and design.
We're so excited to be here. Thank you again so much for inviting us. Well, let's find out more.
Yes.
Let's take a look at this art over here. Could you explain a little bit about it?
Yes, this is the robot and the robotic dog from the film Fetch, starring Tom Hanks. Airs on Apple TV. The robot and the dog are both fully animatronic and puppeteerable.
And then I see Baby Yoda over there.
There's Baby Yoda, also known as Grogu from the Mandalorian series, where he's on Disney Plus.
Awesome, amazing. And then we also see Iron Man over here.
Yes, this is Iron Man from all the Iron Man films and the Avengers movies. And a little known fact is Iron Man is the very first film worked on for Legacy Effects.
Amazing, amazing. And then behind us here, we also see some posters. Haruka, we've seen these movies,
Yeah, we've
right?
seen that. Yeah.
Amazing. Could you explain a little bit more about these two?
Behind us is a bunch of the films that we've worked on, from Suicide Squad, Terminator, Jurassic World, Avengers, and many more.
Super cool, super cool.
So we'd love to hear more about your work, so let's find it.
So now we've arrived at the second floor of the Legacy Effects building. This is the conference room, right?
Yes, correct.
Is it okay for you to give us a little tour of the...
For sure. We'll go inside.
Thank you. Let's go inside. Wow. It looks like a museum in here.
Yeah, this is so cool.
Could you give us a little introduction?
Sure. So inside the conference room is a lot of collectibles. Some are collectibles and some are actually designed specifically for pitches. So when we have meetings, we'll do sculptures. So like these guys, for example, they're not collectibles. These were made just to pitch the idea for the film. And then some are collectibles.
And I see that statue over there. Is that the biggest collectible you've ever created?
Probably not. We've actually made full-size figures of Darth Vader. So that's probably one of the bigger collectibles that we've done. We have this full, it's like huge. It's not here, but we have these.
And is this the heaviest? It looks really heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy, but it's not the heaviest.
Not
that
the
guy
heaviest.
is actually, this is a full suit actually used in the film. So this was in Snow White and the Huntsman. So it's actually not a collectible, but an actual screen-worn costume.
Which one is the longest time did you take to create?
Let's see. Probably, I would say, all of these guys, Avatar. So Avatar was years. So this is the character named Terry from Avatar. This one is just collectible, but the film and the process of creating that film is stretched over. I think the first film was 7 years.
7 years?
Yes. So definitely, most films are just done within a couple of months, 6 months. Back in the day, films were about a year, sometimes a year and a half. But now films are generally within 6 months, 7 months, something like that. But this was 7 years.
I also love the lighting in here, and some of these figures also have like lights on them. It just makes it come to life. It's so cool. And I see these. Are these hollow? These.
Yes, most of them are hollow, so that they can kind of lessen the weight. Some of them are not hollow, but
Was everything in this room made by you?
no.
Not everything.
I worked on a lot of the things in this room. I probably sculpted. So I just sculpted this guy, a couple of guys over there, but sculpted this guy down there. So I've worked on a lot of things in this room, but special effects in film is like a team thing, right? So it takes so many people doing so many different things.
I see so many figures in this room, but do you have a personal favorite?
Yeah.
This room probably. I like this sculpture.
This one right here.
Yeah, so that guy I like a lot, and of course I like Adam as well.
And for this figure, you also mentioned that you have a lighter version of it as well, right?
Yes. It's very, very, very heavy. Probably the heaviest thing in this room. But because it's the original, so the originals are always a little heavier than the production version is much lighter.
So, do you always make multiple versions of for an original one and then
Like usually you have what they call the paint master. So paint master would be this guy. So you have one that is painted fully, completely done, and how you would like it to look when it's being reproduced. You have a version that is broken down to all the parts. So that's the cast master. So that way they know how many parts something is, how they need to put together. Then you have one that's put together that's not painted, so you can see how it's assembled. So usually you have 3, sometimes 4, and then all of that gets sent to people that they know what to do.
Is she cat?
That is it's in the original turn it around so you can see the little cat there. And the first actually the Alien film, there was a character, a little cat named Jones. And so we put it in there just kind of like an Easter egg. Because in the film, that little cat, they're trying really hard to save that cat's life. So we just kind of stuck Jones in there just for fun.
It's kind of a silly question, but do you get to keep all the castings and all the original ones and then the production ones that you make?
No, actually. So, so depending on what it is. So usually in Sideshow, for example, we can get things from them. So we have a nice working relationship with them. But usually when we make something, it is just for the film or just for whatever it is, And there is no copies. There is nothing. So usually back in the day, before now they're starting to have a museum, but back in the day they would actually destroy everything. So certain films there's literally nothing from. Like for Fifth Element is actually notorious for that. That film had so much beautiful art, so many beautiful sculptures. Everything, including the actual drawings, were destroyed for the entire film. So there was nothing because they wanted to make sure that there was no reproductions.
That's reasonable.
So they would destroy everything, and also there was just nowhere to put anything. So because you move things like Disney is different, and even Warner Brothers is different. They actually have storages just for everything. It all gets cataloged and brought to a place. But most films, once it's made, everything destroyed, so it won't be replicated, and that's it. So, like I remember working, we would have to go through and just destroying molds and cutting things up, and you're just like, oh my god.
Oh no.
Destroy this beautiful piece of artwork, and then you smash it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then I'd like to take a look at these ones. I love how there's the poster in the background and it just kind of relates to the figures in the front. Oh my gosh, amazing. Haruka, do you have a favorite in this room?
Definitely a brother or Darth Vader. Everyone knows.
Everyone knows Darth Vader. And does it take longer if you put in these like little lights?
No, not necessarily. There's such a process, and we have so many different people who all specialize in different things. So kind of while you're doing one part, the person who's doing the lights is doing their part, so it all kind of just comes together.
I see. Love the room. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Today's guest is from the world of film. He's a head special effects artist and costume designer for mega companies such as Marvel, Disney, Paramount, and Sony. For Godzilla fans, he's known for designing Mothra for Godzilla Kings of Monsters. He's also a co-founder of dartshtajio, which is thought to revolutionize the Japanese anime industry by introducing westernized elements of art and storytelling to the Japanese standard of animation. Please welcome Darnell Isom. Hello Darnell, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm alright. We're in the director's chairs and it's surrounded by all the legendary superheroes and villains. I'm so excited. Thank you again for having us here at the studio and then joining us today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it.
So first of all, could you introduce yourself?
My name is Darnell Isom. I'm a lead concept designer, suit builder here at Legacy Effects.
Awesome. So you're the head special effects artist and costume designer for many big companies, but how did you actually get into the field in the first place?
So I kind of started like everyone, went to college on the East Coast, actually went to Art Institute, studied industrial design with a focus on special effects.
Okay.
And then I moved to California and I actually started as a runner. So just brewing coffee and doing that, I did that for about a year because, I've never driven before when I moved to California.
Right.
I was very young and California is a very tricky place to learn to drive. So as a runner, I didn't even have a car. So I borrowed my girlfriend's car at the time and then I crashed it into like a parked car. So I could only be a runner for a little bit of time because I crashed the car. But they liked me a bunch and so they promoted me into
All right.
a different position. so there you go.
So, but in a way, was becoming an artist always like your childhood dream?
Oh, definitely. I think I can remember back in kindergarten. It's a strong memory because it made me not like the teacher. But I remember in kindergarten we had where you talk about the job that you want to do.
Right.
And everyone was, I want to be a firefighter, or I want to be a policeman or something. And I was like, oh, I want to be a superhero.
Right.
And she was like, well, there's no such thing as a superhero. And,
So realistic.
Like a 5-year-old kid, that's like heartbreaking. You would think they would tell you something like, oh, okay, work hard.
Yep.
So from a small child, I would draw superheroes all the time and watch movies because I thought as I grew up, I'm going to be a superhero. But as you get older, your reality and everything changes, and then you realize you can't be a superhero, but you can make superheroes.
Exactly.
You can create these things.
It's in the same world, right. Apparently, you're now successful. What production do you credit as your breakthrough that led you to the current success?
Probably say honestly with Alan Scott, who's one of the owners here at Legacy. It was a commercial where we had to design, because up until that point I was still just working in the mold shop and casting parts and doing that type of thing. But I would always submit my sketchbooks, submit my drawings just to show potential and interest. But there was a commercial that was coming where we had to design an alien. And so I got to design an alien and it was chosen for the commercial. So I got to sculpt it. And that was my first time really kind of doing the sculpture for something. And then went to puppeteer with it and did the whole deal. So I went through the whole process of designing, puppeteering, being in the commercial. So that was probably my first job where then after that I was kind of just continued.
Right. But you feel like all the success really rapidly came, or just gradual process that you cannot think about one particular project that led you to the level?
It was definitely gradual. It was more of a gradual thing, kind of happened throughout the years. Like I would probably say if it was for a film, for a feature, it would be Pacific Rim, the first Pacific Rim probably, because I got to do that was probably one of the first films where I worked on and got to help to design and engineer a full character. So I did the full suits for the Russians for that film, so doing the helmets and everything. So that was a lot of fun.
Sounds like fun. This episode will be available on YouTube this coming Saturday. For details, please check out our Facebook page. Next, more exciting materials to show you all.